What's up, everybody? Y'all come on in. Y'all come on in. We gonna talk about this Prince of Egypt movie. Y'all come on in. What's up, Sean? What's up, Sherry? What's up, Anna? What's up, Alexis? Yeah, it's white today for a reason. We dealing with the purity of the situation, the purity of knowledge here. We'll give them another minute and we'll go and get started. I ain't gonna make this one too long. They'll watch it if they want to watch it, whatever. It's just a little decode. We're gonna get it in. All right. Let us begin here. Yesterday, after I got through my Bruce Leroy lecture, Bruce Leroy's Ascension lecture, I was like, let me watch this Prince of Egypt movie. It's been years since I watched it. Cause I just bought it. I bought it at Walmart. It was like $4-5, Shit, I was like, well, why not? So I sat down and watched that shit, child. And as an awakened man, I gotta say, that's probably one of the greatest fucking art of war movies I've ever seen in my life. As an awakened man, that shit there, in a way, was trash. You see what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell y'all why it was trash. They give you this mythical story of this group of people that's enslaved by the so-called ancient Egyptians. But what we need to ask ourselves is, what do gods need with slaves? You see what I'm saying? What do gods need with slaves? What's up, John Darius? So just ask yourself that as I go on with this lecture. What do gods and goddesses need with fucking slaves? Especially their own kind, right? So watching this shit, you got two brothers. There's always two brothers. The Set and Heru story, right? Or the Set and Osiris story. How about that? We'll go with that one. And one brother, what's up, Astrid? One brother, they grew up. We'll start out with the beginning of the movie. How about that? At the beginning of the movie, we see that these so-called Hebrews are enslaved, and their God allowed them to get enslaved by the so-called ancient Egyptians because they betrayed their God, Yahweh, or Yaldabaoth, as we know. And we're going to get into that in a little bit. So, Moses was born, and his mother put him in a hamper and let him ride down the river. And he was found by the mother of Ramses, and she adopted him and raised him, right? So what he do? He grows up, have a good life, and they create this whole scenario of an evil pharaoh that's enslaving the Hebrews, right? That's enslaving these so-called Hebrews. And what you find out is this so-called prophet, Moses, decides to, he runs back into his sister later on in the movie, after he frees his would-be wife Zipporah, he runs into his sister or whatever, and with his she tells him who he really is. He go and finds out the truth that he was an adopted man and he was a Hebrew, and so of course he sees the suffering of his people and rebels, right? So he kills one of the guards for whipping his people, right? And so he runs away to the Midians, and when he gets to the Midians, he finds out what freedom really is when he see how Zipporah's family is free and living happily ever after. So, this is where it gets good. He grows up. He learns family values. He get married, find his heart chakra or whatever. And so now he gets into his higher chakras. They give him a staff as well. You see what I'm saying? They give him a staff, which is nothing but the spine, the jet pill, the usual shit. And with this staff, he goes into the mountains. And inside the mountain, which is nothing but the pineal gland, he sees a burning bush. Now, check out what this said. I recorded, I downloaded this shit before I left home. Y'all gotta hear this with yourself. Y'all awaken now. And we gonna get it in from there. We gonna get it in after we see what this God told Moses at the burning bush, in the mountains. My bad. What did he tell him? Here we go. Let me brighten it up for y'all. And I'll show it to you.
Here I am. Take the sandals from your feet. For the place on which you stand is holy ground. Who are you? I am that I am. I don't understand. I am the God of your ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
You were born of my mother, Yocheved. You are our brother.
What do you want with me? I have seen the oppression of my people in Egypt, and have heard their cry. Stop it! Leave that man alone! So I have come down to deliver them out of slavery, and bring them to a good land. A land flowing with milk and honey. And so unto Pharaoh I shall send you, me. Who am I to lead these people? They'll never believe me. They won't even listen. I shall teach you what to say. Let my people go. But I was their enemy. I was the prince of Egypt, the son of the man who slaughtered their children. You've chosen the wrong messenger. How can I even speak to these people? Who made man's mouth? Who made the deaf, the mute, the seeing, or the blind? Did not I? Now go.
I want y'all to hear that one again. Notice what he said.
How can I even speak to these people? Who made man's mouth? Who made the deaf, the mute, the seeing, or the blind? Did not I? Now go.
one more time. One more time. Pay attention to what this guy said now.
But I was their enemy. I was the Prince of Egypt, the son of the man who slaughtered their children. You've chosen the wrong messenger. How can I even speak to these people? Who made man's mouth? Who made the deaf, the mute, the seeing, or the blind? Did not I? Now go. Moses, I shall be with you when you go to the king of Egypt. But Pharaoh will not listen. So I will stretch out my hand and smite Egypt with all my wonders. Take the staff in your hand, Moses. With it, you shall do my wonders. I shall be with you, Moses.
Now, that guy said something real fucking interesting. He said, I am the God who gave man mouth. I am the God of the deaf, the mute, the blind, and those who can see. Pay attention to that shit. Now, the fact that he said that, what's up, Tasha? What's up, Diana? The fact that he said that should have fucking raised flags. He didn't say I was the God of all. He said I was the God of the deaf, the mute, and the blind. You see what I'm saying? Pay attention to this. Who is the God of Abraham, his ancestors, Abraham and all the motherfuckers? Yahweh. We already know who Yahweh is. Yahweh is Yaldabaoth, the demiurge, and his archonic host. So we already know right now they fucking with us, right? They fucking with us, right? They sent this so-called God, and he met this so-called God, this demiurge, this false creator. Love the Varian. He met this demiurge, this false creator, and this false creator did what? Told him to go and rebel against the ancient Egyptians. Let me clear some things up here. There is no true and living historical record of the ancient Egyptians having slaves. There's biblical record of the ancient Egyptians having slaves, but we know the Bible is a book of myths. So the ancient Egyptians didn't have no fucking slaves. They didn't need no slaves. They was gods and goddesses. What the fuck they needed was slaves. You see what I'm saying? So by that law right there, we can debunk that shit right there. So who are these fucking Hebrews? And who, we know who the God is, that's Yaldabaoth. So who are they really warring against? These two brothers bump heads because he go and tell him to free his people, you know, like Yaldabaoth told him to do. And he goes and frees his people and do all types of amazing wonders and gets the Pharaoh, the ancient Egyptians, fucked up in the process, right? You know, for freeing his people, right? The Hebrews. Let me tell y'all what's going on here. First thing first. It's pure art of war. Let me tell you why. Everything in this story is pure fucking art of war. Even splitting the Red Sea. That was all symbolism for divide and conquer. The ancient Egyptians well, let's start with the Hebrews. The Hebrew slaves did not exist in ancient Egypt in the fucking 13th century. There was no such thing as Hebrews for real. You see what I'm saying? This is the stories that's in this Bible is happening now. Exodus is the story of when we were slaves or enslaved in this country for such amount of years, and how while we were locked down, they beat the knowledge of our ancestors out of us and destroyed our cultures, our way of life, our spiritual systems. So once we fell so far to a point by being prisoners of war, whatever, they beat Christianity into us and forced us into thinking that this God, Yaldabaoth, Yahweh, was our true and living Savior. It was a mind fuck. You see what I'm saying? And the ancient Egyptians, the first part of it is they used the ancient Egyptians to further drive you away from your ancestors. That's what they did. Peep game. They used the ancient Egyptians to further drive you away from your ancestors. You see what I'm saying? So that's what the part in the Red Sea is. Part in the Red Sea is doing what? Creating a gap between you and your ancestors. Literally, that's what the concept really is. You see what I'm saying? So, but actually, the ancient Egyptians are not the ancient Egyptians. Actually, who it is that fucking the Hebrews get free themselves for during the Civil War, doing all these other wars, is the dirty Moors. That's who had you enslaved. The first president, or what they call a pharaoh in the movie, was what? A Moor. They created what? The Articles of Confederation. You see what I'm saying? Even after Exodus, you get what? The Book of Leviticus. The Book of Leviticus is the story of how they created legalese, the legal system, to enslave you. Then they came with Numbers. Numbers, the story of how they created the monetary system and the birth certificates and the social security numbers to further enslave you. Then you get Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy tell you how much hell you would go through while you're in this fucking United States corporation. And they also give you a certain set of gifts that when you start to come back into your shit, you know, they give you curses first to tell you what you would go through while you locked down mentally. And then they give you a set of blessings or spiritual gifts that you will inherit once you start to come back to yourself. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? This is what we got going on here. This shit is pure art of war. This is the story of how you came out of slavery. Yes, it is. But you didn't know that these Moors wrote this story and they've been following this Bible as a guideline, Helios Biblios, the Book of the Sun, to during this fucking slave period this down period we've been in. So Exodus is the story of how we motherfucking came out of slavery. In the book of Genesis, which is the story of Joseph and how the Hebrews came into ancient Egypt, and we was all getting along. This is the story of how they came here first, talking to the Native Americans or the indigenous ancient mound builders and everybody, and speaking to them nicely and whatever, learned their ways, and then fucking turned on them. And Exodus picks up with the after effects of what happened when they turned on them. After Joseph died, what happened? they turned on the motherfuckers and started killing everybody. And they used what? The doctrine of manifest destiny to do it, right? To go around fucking the country, killing, maiming, murdering, pillaging, and plundering. You see what I'm saying? This is all this is. That's all Genesis, fucking Exodus, the 5 books of Moses. Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. This all telling the story of what the fuck you going through right now. You see what I'm saying? Right now in America. It ain't got shit to do with ancient Egypt. Ancient Egyptians didn't have slaves. Ancient Sumerians didn't have slaves. What the fuck gods and goddesses who could create pyramids and shit with their minds need with fucking slaves? You see what I'm saying? You gotta think about that. What's up, John? We gotta think about that. What do gods and goddesses need who have all power in their hands need with fucking slaves? And they can build pyramids at will with their minds. Or if we want to take it to the scientific realm, their advanced technologies, whichever one you want to look at it. Whether you want to look at it as the spiritual route, the mystical route, where they did it with their minds and their spirits and their chi, or you want to look at it with the advanced technological route, where they did it with the technologies that they had, the advanced technologies. You see what I'm saying? The crystal technologies and starlight technologies and liquid energy and anti-gravity manipulation and all that. Whichever route you choose to take in understanding your ancestors, or whether it's as a scientist or a mystic, that's up to you. But know that they didn't need no fucking slaves to do shit when they had all this technology, all this knowledge and wisdom, all this power. You see what I'm saying? What do they need with slaves? What y'all answer that to me. What do they need with fucking slaves? Who take longer to build than them? With fucking with fucking advanced technologies. You see what I'm saying? Who take longer to build than them. You see what I'm saying? If you watch the fucking Prince of Egypt movie, it took them forever to build them goddamn statues. Versus if they had advanced technologies or advanced spiritual gifts. You see what I'm saying? Come on now. We gotta think about this story. This story is fucked up. And fucking for some reason the book of Exodus is untouchable. Have y'all ever noticed that? You can talk about Genesis, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, but the story of Exodus can't be touched. It's taboo to talk about fucking the book of Exodus, but we're gonna talk about that shit today. We're gonna talk about how this is straight out of war today. The fucking Pharaoh and the so-called Egyptians is nothing but the dirty Moors that helped enslave you. Because they own slaves too. You see what I'm saying? Them Moorish families who helped these motherfuckers, both Euro Moors and indigenous Moors over here, who helped these motherfuckers come to power, who literally bred these niggas into turning against you and killing you. They bred the white boy into turning against you and killing you, the Euro Moors. They show you that, it's in their fucking documents. And from the 1400s, how they came over here, the fucking Moorish kings usurped the Incan kings and the fucking Aztecian kings and queens and the ancient mound builders and all that, and then took their place and then enslaved everybody. That's in they fucking documents. You see what I'm saying? That's in the Spanish documents. What they did. What these motherfucking Moors did. And the white boys, or mulattoes as they was known then, because most of them was just mixed at the time, followed suit. You see what I'm saying? They just followed orders and did what they were supposed to do. And you see what I'm saying? Because they was taught to hate they was taught to hate us. You see what I'm saying? So this is what you got going on here. So these dirty Moors and so-called Hebrew Israelites, goddamn, been fucking us up. You see what I'm saying? This ain't that new. These bloodlines been fucking us up. And that's why they got it the worst right now. That's why they starting to have it the worst. Fucking this system is what they depending on to keep us enslaved. Now the system is crumbling. So now they losing their goddamn mind. They the ones creating the protests. You see what I'm saying? Ain't no white people creating no fucking protests to keep this shit going. It's them. The Moors, the Boule, as y'all call it. We don't know it's the Boule today. You know, they reorganized themselves as this fucking secret society of black members, black archons, who that's what they call themselves as a high level, black archons. And what did they do? All they do is make sure that the narrative stay in place that the white man destroyed us. No, they destroyed us and taught the white man how to keep us enslaved. You see what I'm saying? You got peep game here. You got a peep game here. So yeah, they got the two brothers, they got the two brothers fighting against each other, literally, the Pharaoh and Moses, right, Ramses and Moses, literally, bullshit. That was the Moors versus us when we was enslaved, them hoodoo conjurers. You see what I'm saying? In the South, goddamn, doing enslavement. Them hoodoo conjurers was fucking their asses up. You see what I'm saying? It was plenty of slaves that rose up. There was plenty of rebellions all around the country. And there was plenty of successful rebellions. That's what they don't tell you about. Well, a lot of these fucking Moorish families got assassinated. And a lot of white families got assassinated too, but a lot of these Moorish families got assassinated for doing what? For fucking with their people. And they got wiped out. A lot of them got wiped out. That's why you don't see as many of their bloodlines as you do now, as it was back then, because a lot of them got wiped out. So what they did, since they were getting their asses kicked during the Civil War, they did what? They freed the slaves, which is the story of fucking Israelites leaving Egypt. You see what I'm saying? You came out of that version of Egypt. But guess what? What did y'all the boys say? I will take you to a land of milk and honey. What's the United States of America called? What's one of the names for it? It's the land of what? Milk and honey. So you came out of slavery, and they re-enslaved you during the Reconstruction era and the Jim Crow era to do what? To build their society. And then they tell you in Exodus and all the other books that they just went around the world fucking killing and maiming, pillaging and plundering other people to help what? To generate resources to do what? Build this society. Oh yeah, it's all there. It's all there. That shit is just telling them those are mythical allegories for telling what they did to accuse up under the reign of Yaldabaoth and his archonic host. Yep. It was just a historical, mythological account of fucking what they did. And it's the story of how they fooled you into accepting Christianity and Yahweh, and accepting his son, Jesus Christ, as your Lord and Savior. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Because the real Jesus, the Gnostic Jesus, ain't had shit to do with this shit. The real Gnostic Jesus ain't even incarnate. He was a spiritual force, a spiritual being. He was the Christos. You see what I'm saying? The enlightened consciousness. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? The enlightened childlike consciousness. That's what Jesus represented. His mother was Sophia, and his father was Pormandres. You see what I'm saying? The invisible God behind the gods. And Sophia was what? Esoteric wisdom, gnosis. You see what I'm saying? So come on now, this how we know we fucked up. Shit, Hebrews. Think about the word Hebrew. Hebrew. Who is this he who's brewing? Y'all the boy brewing fucking spells and scheming and fucking plotting to keep you locked the fuck down here. But the first thing first, they had to get you out of your ancestral mind, create a gap between you and your ancestral mind, and then get you into their shit. They had to get you into their realm of perception. And the only way they could do that was slavery and war. You see what I'm saying? Take prisoners of war. And who is Moses? Who does Moses represent? Your pastors. Pastors, soothsayers. You see what I'm saying? Speaking lies and vile bullshit. Telling you that God is the way to go. You don't even know who the fuck God is. God don't even have a name. You see what I'm saying? What's up, Robbie? God don't even have a name. You ain't heard God's name until later on. They called him, and when you heard his name, it was Yahweh. If you had the Gnostic text back then, you know him as Yaldabaoth or Aldabaoth or Saklas in other teachings. So this is what we got going on here with this fucking Hebrew shit, nigga. This Hebrew shit. Like literally, the book of Genesis is a story of how they plotted. They were sending observants, these fucking Khazars and all the other fucking you had the Moors, you had the Khazars, you had the beings in the Caucasus Mountains, you had a few other motherfuckers that came together to fuck this shit up. You see what I'm saying? That came together to fuck you up. You see what I'm saying? So once Egypt fell, and the Nibiru came through, doing that change of the cycles, they used the opportunity to fucking what's the word I'm looking for? To come to power, to take over. And seeing what happened with the Nibiru, with the changing of the cycles, everybody accepted the new programming. See what I'm saying? The new arcane program. Oh yeah. This shit here is interesting. So Genesis tells the story of how they set in observance and in patience until they had their opportunity. And when was their opportunity? When they fucking finally got Joseph, when they finally came to Egypt, America, and got Joseph. See, the Bible is only deals with the last 400 or 500 years. You see what I'm saying? Of what happened. Now, if you talking about what happened across all the planet, it's the last 2,000 to 6,000 years. You see what I'm saying? But if you just talking about what happened here in America, the Americas is only 400 to 500 years. You see what I'm saying? I think it's 600 years in all. Yeah, because they started coming over here in the 1400s. You know what I'm saying? The Moors start bringing them over here, these mulattoes that they raised in the Caucasus Mountains out there in Europe over here in the 1400s. You see what I'm saying? That they had sex with, and they engaged in this animal behavior with, and this is their society. You see what I'm saying? This is their world that they created. Ask yourself why there's never been a war on American soil. Ask yourself that question. The answer to that is the reason why there's never been a war on American soil. Since the Civil War, it's because the Boule is the actual motherfuckers who's running the world. What if I told you that? They the ones running the world. Think about that shit. Not the Jesuit priests, not the Roman Catholic Church, not the fucking Queen of England, none of them motherfuckers. It's all been the Boule. The whole time. There's high levels of the Boule now. It's a secret order within the order of the Boule, or known as the Order of Archons, or High Archons as they call themselves, and they run this shit from the shadows. And they black people. No lie. They black people, but they can't but they can't let you know that they black people. So they keep the narrative going, saying that it's white people running this shit. But no, it's them running it, and the white people have been doing what they always been doing. Taking orders. You see what I'm saying? Taking orders from these fucking black gods and goddesses, corrupt gods and goddesses, dirty Moors. You see what I'm saying? So this is what they got going on. But see now, if you look at the story, once we got free from slavery, what happened? They had, all right, we got to take legally to the next level. So what? They created a Reconstruction era to create new laws. Then after the new laws was created, they created what? Black codes and Jim Crow codes to keep you further locked down, because we still need them to build our society. They still useful to us, but we can't let them get ahead. So what? We had to create these new laws and shit and prison systems to lock them down to slowly build our society. Like literally, the first 5 books of Moses just tell the story of how they built America. No lie. Go back and read that shit. You know, you're going to trip you out when you know what you're dealing with. Y'all the bull. We're going to bring you out of slavery. This version of slavery, anyway. We're going to bring you out of slavery. The black race, the black gods and goddesses, the masters of the universe. That's what we're going to call ourselves right now, because that's what they call us in the fucking Gnostic text. They call everybody who over here in the Northwest at this time, those black gods and goddesses over here in the Northwest at this time, masters of the universe. That's literally what they label us in the Gnostic text, in Nag Hammadi scripture. So they gonna come over here, right? We coming over here, and we gonna let them out of slavery. We gonna emancipate them, but we gonna transform slavery, cause now we need them to build our society. We trying to become a world power now, and we need the manpower to do that. We done being an agricultural fucking country. We want to be a world power. We ready to be an empire now. You see what I'm saying? So the empire struck back, and then they built what? They built the great America that they built. You see what I'm saying? And it lasted, that Reconstruction era lasted all the way into what? The 1960s. You see what I'm saying? The 1960s. You see what I'm saying? And then that's when we revolted against their ass again. And then the freedom fighters rose up and revolted. You see what I'm saying? And they shut it down. No, they did what they did to shut down the revolution or whatever. And what happened next? After they shut down the revolution, they continued to build America and continue to make America great again. And made sure that there was never another revolution of that particular status. You see what I'm saying? Then they did what? What happens next? Oh, yeah. What happens next? Then the spiritual revolution happened. Your Bobby Hemmings, your Dr. Deborah Blairs, your Phil Valentines, the Miss Blues. You see what I'm saying? All rose up. You see Freeman Ailes, your Brother Panics. All of them rose up. You see what I'm saying? To tell you that all the other shit that we was doing, we was successful at it for the most part, but that's not the real problem. You see what I'm saying? That's not the real problem. The real problem is this spiritual shit. It's always been, they had us on spiritual lockdown. The real problem is Christianity, Islam, Judaism, Hebrewism, all this one God shit. You know, Taoism, that's a different story. Buddhism, that's a different story. You see what I'm saying? Because you can actually get free with those systems. You see what I'm saying? You can actually still get free with Taoist internal alchemy. You can actually still get free with Buddhism. You see what I'm saying? If you can still actually get free with Hinduism. You see what I'm saying? You can get free with those systems. But you can't get free with these one God systems. And they even went across the world and been wiping out slowly, phasing out Hinduism, Buddhism, and Taoism. Notice you don't even hear about them for real no more. Peep game. Now you don't even hear about Buddhism, Taoism, and Hinduism like that no more. And Sikhism. You see what I'm saying? Jainism and all that. You don't hear about that shit like that because they dying off. And fucking Christianity and all the other one God religions taking over. They at war in India right now. The Islam, the Muslims is at war with the Hindu people right now in their own country. The Muslims in their country trying to take their shit over and institute Islam and wipe out Hinduism. Go check that shit out. That shit crazy. Came to their country, home of Hinduism, Vedaism, and Vedic shamanism, came to their country and told them that they was wrong for worshiping their culture and their spirituality. Just like these motherfuckers came to our country, did the same shit. So what they trying to do? They trying to wipe out Hinduism, wipe out Buddhism, and wipe out Taoism. In China right now, they wiping out all the Buddhist and Taoist temples as we speak. That's why. Right now, go check that shit out right now. You go YouTube that shit. They wiping out all the Buddhist and Taoist temples in China right now, and the Muslims are waging war against the East Indians to wipe out the Hinduism as we speak, cause they know that you still can get free from those systems. Nirvana is just another way of saying the God realm. So they wiping that shit out. You see what I'm saying? And so what they trying to do now? They try to shut down America now, because guess what? The God's rising again. The masters of the universe back. And so they can't be having it. They can't be having the masters of the universe rising up. So they trying to do whatever they can to postpone their destruction. You see what I'm saying? They even went so far to shut this shit down just to fucking get a little bit more time. You see what I'm saying? Just to take the heat off them a little bit. You see what I'm saying? What's up, L? So this is what you got going on here with this crazy ass shit you call the Prince of Egypt. You see what I'm saying? It ain't called the Prince of Egypt. It's the Prince. He wasn't the Prince of Egypt. He was a fucking pastor working for the Moors to keep the black slaves locked down during fucking the antebellum period of slavery. And then we waged a civil war on their ass. Them hoodoo conjurers, the fucking indigenous Jedi rose up and started wiping their asses out. And so they emancipated them. And so they during that transitional period, the Reconstruction, and fucking black codes and Jim Crow laws and Ku Klux Klan and all the motherfuckers rose up to keep us in the fear vibration, so we wouldn't rise up, because they still need us to build their empire. You see what I'm saying? He said what y'all the boy said to Moses: I will lead you into a land of milk and honey. Where's the land of milk and honey? The United States corporation that you live in today. Because America describes itself to the rest of the world as the land of fucking milk and honey. Y'all remember that when we was kids? They used to show commercials. When they was fucking showing commercials to the other countries in the world, they used to refer to themselves as the land of milk and fucking honey. Y'all remember them commercials? Yep. I remember them commercials. So I know a lot of my elders remember them saying shit like that. So you in the fucking promised land that y'all the boy promised you. They promised you the United States corporation. And they even let you help them build it. As long as you didn't fucking surpass them or anything. They kept you on a certain level, but they let you invent, they let you build, they let you preach, they let you teach, they let you raise a generation of slaves. What they said in the book of Exodus. We gonna kill off the fucking, he gave them bitter water, right? What does bitter water represent? A bitter lifestyle. You see what I'm saying? When they was in the desert, he gave, and they asked y'all the boy for water. Well, y'all the boy gave them bitter water. The bitter water was the bitter lifestyle that you got after slavery was over with. You see what I'm saying? The Reconstruction, the black codes, the Jim Crow laws, and all the other crazy shit that they put, that they created to keep you in fear. You see what I'm saying? The Ku Klux Klan and all the motherfuckers. That was the bitter water. The people rebelled against that. Of course, because you can't drink bitter water. You can't live a bitter lifestyle and be happy. So the people rebelled against it. So what? So what y'all the boy did? He got upset in the fucking story and led them into the wilderness for 40 years. You see what I'm saying? That's from 1865 to 1895. Y'all literally was wandering in the wilderness of America because they kept you locked down in this shit. You see what I'm saying? Through their black codes and Jim Crow laws and all that other shit during the Reconstruction era. So, and then once that generation started to die off, what they did then? They came in and raised up the new slaves, the new slaves that prepared you for what? World War I. Now we gotta kill off the rest of them. Now you need to now you working for us, for your freedom. We gonna give you a little something on the side. You go help us with our wars. And guess what? During World War I, America prospered. During World War II, America prospered. The Vietnam War, that's when everybody started catching on. You see what I'm saying? That's when everybody started catching on again. Like, all right, wait a minute now. All these goddamn wars, what the fuck is going on? You see what I'm saying? So that's literally what the book of Exodus is about. They told you, they literally tell you that we went around, in the book of Exodus, they went around the land to foreign nations, which they call pagans, which was the other beings across the planet, and they fucked their world up, they fucked their countries up, and killed them off, and took their resources to build their nation. To build Israel. Israel is America. You see what I'm saying? Israel is a United States corporation that you're living in right now. You see what I'm saying? According to the 5 books of Moses, how it's written in the 5 books of Moses in a way. So this is what you got going on here. You see what I'm saying? This is what you got going on. And there's a few occult teachers in there, like Isaiah chapter 45, verse 15. And, Isaiah chapter 45, period. It's a few occult texts in there that they just slid in there to throw you off. But really, that's not even the 5 books of Moses. That came later. You see what I'm saying? So the whole Old Testament is a story of how they built the old world, the old version of America. It's literally the story of how America was built. You see what I'm saying? When God blessed you, there was times of peace in America. And when God fucking cursed you, there was the civil wars that happened in America. There was more than one civil war in America. Well, America been in civil war for fucking 200 years because they can't get their shit together. You see what I'm saying? You had the Civil War in fucking middle of the 1800s. Then you had pretty much another Civil War in the 1960s. You see what I'm saying? With the revolutionary, the Black Panther Party, Nation of Islam and all them. That was pretty much virtually another civil war. Niggas was shooting at each other, wasn't it? niggas was popping at each other, right? Niggas was getting killed and getting put in jail and shit, right? So that was another civil war. You know what I'm saying? It just wasn't one that they orchestrated. It was one that we orchestrated. And that's what pissed them off. You see what I'm saying? How dare these slaves rise up. And so now here we are again. Now we're in a metaphysical revolution, a spiritual warfare. We figured out that it's been spiritual all along. It's been soulful. It's been a spiritual war, a mystical war, a soul war. You see what I'm saying? So that's what's been happening. And now we at war with them again. We kicked their ass for the last 12 years. You see what I'm saying? We've been kicking the ass. Shit, we've been kicking ass since the 90s, for real. But yeah, we've been pretty much kicking their ass, the cultists, and so they had to back off now. They had to shut the system down. We shut the system down. They didn't shut shit down. We shut it down because they couldn't handle the energies anymore. They had to slow us down or cool us off because motherfuckers' energies was fucking when you go to work. I tell y'all generate heat. Y'all sitting at they fucking plantations for 8 to 10 hours. Y'all generating Kundalini energy, Kundalini heat. And so they realized that was the problem. All right, we got to take them off these plantations and cool this shit off. And ever since, if you notice, ever since y'all came off the plantations, they've been able to cool the planet off easier. But when you was on them plantations, guess what? Guess what? It was hot as a motherfucker around here. Even when it was 40 to 50, 30 degrees around this bitch, 20 degrees, it was still hot. Motherfuckers walking around in sandals and fucking shorts and shit. But now that they just set everybody down for a little bit, the world has cooled off. You see what I'm saying? The world has naturally cooled off. They trying to cool off your Kundalini energy. You see what I'm saying? That's what they're trying to do. That was the whole objective of this shit. So this whole Prince of Egypt story, this whole book of Exodus and Genesis and Leviticus and all that shit. All that shit is a story of how they built America. That's all it is. Didn't no guys need to enslave no fucking body. There ain't no ancient Egyptians enslaved nobody. You go, all right, we look at Cleopatra and her story. There was not one time when she mentioned having slaves in her storyline. Since ancient Egypt had slaves, there was not one time in her storyline that she mentioned, because she was that was the last true fucking bloodline, right? That they claim existed in ancient Egypt, right? So there was not one fucking mention of her having slaves. Why didn't she have slaves then? You see what I'm saying? Why these so-called Hebrews the only ones the ancient Egyptians picked on? You see what I'm saying? Why these so-called Hebrews is the only ones the ancient Egyptians picked on? They was a world power. They could have picked on any fucking body. Why just the Hebrews? What was so special about them? See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? What was so special about them? Nothing. Because it never happened. You see what I'm saying? Never happened. No guys and guys that need to enslave no fucking body. You see what I'm saying? They came to our hood fucking shit up. These Arabs and all these other motherfuckers came to our hood fucking shit up. There was no true slave trade into the Arab slave trade. Y'all know that, right? The Phoenicians and all them motherfuckers, the Arabs and the Arabian fucking slave trade was the first slave trade on the planet. Y'all know this, right? The first recorded slave trade was the Arab slave trade. Point blank. So yeah. So this is what you got going on. This is what you got going on with this crazy ass shit that they talking about. These mythos. Like I said, you go look at that shit up. It's not even fucking actual history. It's biblical history. Ain't no such thing as biblical history. How you gonna take a book of myths and make it history? You see what I'm saying? They go here, Judge, we are the global warming. We heating this shit up. So they had to cool us off because jobs generate heat. That's a well-known fact. You sit in your job for 8 hours, don't give a fuck what you doing. You generate heat. You're speeding up the Kundalini process. So they had to sit you down. They ain't about to open this shit back up. They ain't open this shit back up to September when everybody think it's supposed to cool off. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? So, yeah. Y'all gotta understand what's going on here. This shit here crazy. With this Prince of Egypt shit. And I watched that shit yesterday. That was the worst fucking movie I've seen in years. I was like, what type of fucking auto war shit is this? They split the Red Sea, which represents you splitting, you separate from your ancestors. And then they literally, the only thing that's worse in the fucking whole show is the songs. Because the songs actually tell you the fucking truth. Where they actually sit there and one of the songs that poured libation to all the fucking ancient Egyptian gods. You see what I'm saying? But then they made a mockery of the ancient Egyptian priests, telling you that they wasn't stronger than fucking Yaldabaoth's magic. Bullshit. They got a whole book called the Book of Genesis dedicated to these fucking sons of God fucking shit up and fucking their ass up. So what they talking about? What they talking about here? So you gotta see what's going on. Y'all shit, go watch Prince of Egypt. You gonna laugh at that shit. What type of fucking auto war bullshit is this? Cause when you know who fucking Moses talking to in that goddamn cave, and that nigga ain't never said that he was the God of all. This nigga said he the God of the deaf, the blind. He said, I quote, who gave y'all the mouth? I'm the God of the deaf, the dumb, the blind, and those who can see. What the fuck? Those are all human senses. You know that, right? 3 of them is the human senses fucking deformed and handicapped, and the last one was those who can see. You know, they tell you third eye open or whatever, but shit. Come on now. He ain't once said that he the God of all. He never made that fucking proclamation. He said he was the God of this human experience. That's what he said. That's basically what he told y'all. So I'm the God of your ancestors, Yahweh. And they tell you who he is, you know, in the Hebrew teachings. Oh, that's Yahweh speaking. So that's Yaldabaoth speaking. I know who the fuck Yahweh is. Really is. Yaldabaoth, the motherfucking demiurge. The archonic general, the ruler of all the archons and their vampiric host and all the other corrupt motherfuckers down here. Them ghouls, them orcs, them werewolves, and all the other crazy shit that they created with they fucked up ass mentalities. You see what I'm saying? That's what you got going on here, y'all. That's what you got going on. I definitely wanted to bring this to light. Cause yeah, that whole story is just a story of how you was enslaved in this fucking, in your own land. You know, you was enslaved in your own land. And you came out of slavery in your own land, but at a cost, you had to fucking worship Yaldabaoth. You see what I'm saying? Because they had beat the knowledge of your own ancestors out of you because you had went to sleep. And so the only thing you had was Yaldabaoth's teachings after a while. So the last line of defense we had was hoodoo. You see what I'm saying? Hoodoo was the last line of defense we had. And slowly but surely, they phased that shit out. You know, they literally worked to fucking phase out hoodoo. They created medical societies to shut down the midwives. They like literally there was in the early 1900s there was a campaign to shut down all the midwives, the hoodoo midwives, because that was hurting the health organization. No lie, go look it up. It's history. This is all history. So they had to shut them down first. So that forced you to go to the hospitals now, ladies, to have your babies. Because you didn't have your midwives no more to help you. See what I'm saying? Slowly but surely degenerating the black community. And they've been degenerating the black community ever since the end of the Civil War. You see what I'm saying? They've been working to degenerate because we weren't just slaves, we was prisoners of war. Like they showed you, we kept fighting. We've been fighting. Hell, they didn't finish the war. The war didn't actually end until 1920s. They finally got their last little patch of land, which I think was Alaska. And the last fucking Native American or indigenous war they had didn't end until the 1920s. You see what I'm saying? The 1920s. Y'all know that was only 100 years ago, right? Only 100 years ago. So they didn't get their hands on this shit for they've only been ruling for 100 years officially. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Then they sold America to the Archons. After they finally got this shit, they sold it to they gave it up to the Archons. I think it was I forget which president it was who created the Federal Reserve. Whatever president created the Federal Reserve, that sold America out to the Archons. Right there. Fully. Because now they had you economically, they already had you legally with legalese. They had to fully implement the economic program, and then they have you. And of course they had their military. You see what I'm saying? They already had that. So they already had military and legalese. They just needed the fucking economic, they just need to fully enslave you economically with the Federal Reserve. You see what I'm saying? And they did that in the early 1900s. You see what I'm saying? And from that point on, for the last 100 years, you've experienced the worst fucking life you've ever experienced in all the times you've been on this planet. You see what I'm saying? From 1920s on up to the 2020s, you've experienced the roughest time here you've ever experienced. Let's be real. Let's call it what it is. Slavery actually was not nearly as fucked up as, cause we was prisoners of war. We fought till we fought, baby. We fought till we fought, goddamn. But these last 100 years have been hell on earth because they took your magic away from you. This is the most physical edition you've ever been. After they stole hoodoo and fucking marketed and did all that crazy shit, I'm gonna do something on hoodoo later. After they stole that and marketed it and weakened it enough and phased it out enough, after that you became strictly physical because you had no magical system for real. And all the fucking magicians and wizards, due to the Christian teachings, were pushed to the edges of society. You see what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? They pushed us to the edges. They pushed us wizards and occultists and spiritualists and mystics to the edges of society. You see what I'm saying? We was shunned. And why were we shunned? Because they was Christians now. They listened to Yaldabaoth now. You see what I'm saying? It's Yaldabaoth or Yahweh over everything now, or God over everything, as they say. The Christian God. Notice they always say the Christian God. They let you know that this is a specific motherfucker who ruling this shit. The Christian God rule over everything now. You see what I'm saying? No other person, no other being around here. Shit, Yahweh, Yaldabaoth, Christian God over fucking everything. Because they never told us the name of the God. We didn't find out the name until later on down the timeline. During the Hebrew movement. Hebrew Israelites, when they started coming out with the name, they started telling us that it was Yahweh, Yahushua, Yah, whatever the fuck they like to name that shit. That's when we finally got the names. You see what I'm saying? But up until that, it was just simply known as the Christian God. So you didn't even know who the fuck you was worshiping. For the last, doing slavery, doing slavery on down. You didn't even know who the fuck you was worshiping. You didn't even know this nigga name. Shit, you didn't know this nigga name until fucking the Hebrew movement. Till the Hebrew Israelites told you that his name. You see what I'm saying? Oh, it's Yahweh. You know? And us Gnostics told you what it is. Nah, it's Yaldabaoth. That's the real fucking name of the Christian God. Or Aldabaoth. You see what I'm saying? Sometimes it's Aldabaoth or Yaldabaoth, whichever one you prefer. Or it's a class. There's a few other names he has as well. But yeah. But the Yah, the Jah, the Je, all that shit is Yaldabaoth. All Jehovah, Yahweh, Yahushua, Yeshua, all that shit is just variations on Yaldabaoth. You know, the demon urge. It's all the demon urge. If you read the Bible and you want to read other holy texts that deals with God, that's the only book where God act like that. Maybe the Quran as well, because the Quran been super corrupted is also. It's a little bit better than the Bible, but goddamn, yeah, for the most part, it's been corrupted too, because Allah just represents your physical body, which is a slave of y'all the boy system. You see what I'm saying? Arm, leg, arm, head, torso is your physical body, which is the apparatus that's enslaved to this physical system. You see what I'm saying? So there you go. There you go. That's what you did with this Prince of Egypt. That shit was nothing but a bunch of fucking auto war bullshit. You see what I'm saying? And they used black people to let you know the ancient Egyptians were the Moors and whoever else, the Hebrews, or so-called Hebrews, the Moors and the Hebrews and all the motherfuckers is the same motherfuckers. How about that? The Moors, the Hebrews, the Jews, all the motherfuckers is the same people. Because think about it, in Spain, in Moorish Spain, they were fucking Islam. They worship Islam. They fuck with they didn't fuck with Gnosticism. Come to find out, they didn't fuck with that shit. That shit was too powerful. But that was the original Bible, the Gnostic Bible. They burned that shit. You know, they burned the Gnostic Bible. They took all the Gnostic Bibles from everybody and burned it. You see what I'm saying? Because the Gnostic teachers was too powerful. And then they launched their inquisitions all across the fucking country of Europe and killed off as many Gnostics as they could. Because their teachers were too advanced. See what I'm saying? They wanted people enslaved. So we know that the Moors dealt with fucking Islam. They also had the Knight Templars. They dealt with they was part of the Gnostic realm as well. And they had the Holy Grail teachings and all that cool stuff. But yeah, they dealt with Christianity. They dealt with Judaism and Hebrewism. You see what I'm saying? Hebrewism is literally a subsect of Gnosticism. It's a rogue sect of Gnosticism. And Christianity is a rogue sect of Hebrewism and Judaism. You see what I'm saying? You gotta think. Where do these names come from? They all part of the same shit, but it all came out of the Gnostic house. They took what they wanted, and then they rebelled against the Gnostics, and then they killed off the Gnostics, and then the Christians came along, took the teachings from the Hebrews, rebelled against them, and ran off. And that's why the Hebrews and the Christians hate each other, because the Christians are a rogue sect of the Hebrews. The Jews, as they call themselves today, is Judaism today, or Hebrewism. It was known as back then. So there y'all go. There y'all go. So all this shit that they got going on is a lie. All this Prince of Egypt and all this other crazy shit they brought out, most of that shit out of war. And it's all designed to drive you to get your ancestors. When you visually see your ancestors like that hard-hearted, you know, in the Prince of Egypt, like he went free to slaves and he was invoking your ancient Egyptian gods, you know, that fuck with your mind. Like, why the fuck would I want to worship that? Why the fuck would I want to go back to ancient Egypt? You see what I'm saying? Why would I want to do that if you ain't aware that this is a fucking psyop? You see what I'm saying? This is a fucking psyop. If you ain't aware of it, then you gonna look at that shit like, what the fuck? You see what I'm saying? Why the fuck would I want to go back to Egypt when they enslaved our people? You see what I'm saying? The Hebrews. Cause they let you have the name Hebrews or Israelites. They let you have it because they know they laugh at you when you use those names because they know that fucking shit didn't even exist. You see what I'm saying? The Hebrews and the Israelites and the real Jews, which really these groups of beings didn't even really exist for real. They were all just Moors who took on different names. You see what I'm saying? They was all Moors who took on they was all subsect or tribes of Moors. You see what I'm saying? Who took on different names. That's all the fuck they were. But the Moors were separatists who worked to, okay, we back. Who shut down all the other indigenous people on the planet. You see what I'm saying? They were separatists who worked to shut down all the other indigenous people on the motherfucking planet. You see what I'm saying? And don't let them tell you otherwise. That's what these motherfuckers about. The Hebrews, the Muslims, cause you know they had Sufis and all that shit there. So the Hebrews, the Muslims, the Christians, the Jews, all the motherfuckers was Moors first, and then later on it became white people. But they was all the Moors created that crazy shit, the Islam and all that shit. Muhammad was a fucking Moor. You see what I'm saying? Muhammad was a fucking Moor. You see what I'm saying? Straight out of Sudan, who worked against his people and worked against Arabian paganism. You see what I'm saying? Because the Arabian pagans, or what they call pagans, were nature dwellers who lived off the land, and they had 3 goddesses. It was Al-Munat, Al-Alat, and it was Al-Uzza. You see what I'm saying? So you know, they just went across the land fucking shit up. You see what I'm saying? And Muhammad, this particular Moor, helped destroy paganism. After he helped destroy paganism, then they killed him and took his shit. See what I'm saying? Same old shit. They have you destroy your own people, then they kill you off and take your shit and then claim it as their own. And then sell it back to you after they claim it for a little while. After they reinterpret everything in such a way that they stay in power. You see what I'm saying? So there you go. So there you go. So yeah, the only real valid book is the book of Revelations, which tell you come back into power. You see what I'm saying? You come back into power during the last days. Day just represents cycle. Just means cycle. So during the last cycles of the planet, you come back into power, which is happening now. You rise up again. You become God again, and you take your shit back. You see what I'm saying? You take your soul back, your mind back, your spirit back, and you withdraw your energies from this fucking matrix. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? You kill off the Yaldabaoth ego. You murder that shit, and you take back your what? Your spiritual energies, your soul energies, and your mental faculties. And of course, since you took back your mind, spirit, and soul, then the body can't help but follow. So there you go. There you go. There you go. That's the secret to this shit. You just taking your shit back. You just return all your energies back. You going within and taking all your shit back and rebuilding your force. You see what I'm saying? And now, once again, you the true and living Jedi because you did the eternal work and healed yourself. And now you ready to go again. You ready to get it in now. You ready for your pugilism, spiritual boxing. You ready for your rookism, soul boxing. See what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Your mentalism, mental boxing. Boxing with the mind. Shit, you throw a mental punch at a motherfucker now, he actually feel that shit. How about that? This is what they scared of. This is what they scared of, y'all. They're scared of you rising back. The book of Revelations lets you know that you rise again. 22 chapters letting you know you coming back online. There y'all go. You coming back online, y'all. So that's what this is about. That Prince of Egypt should just tell your story here in America. You see what I'm saying? The Bible is its most powerful wealth here in America. See what I'm saying? It's the second most powerful in Europe, but it is most powerful here in America. Because the Bible was designed to keep you enslaved here in America. And they don't give a fuck about Europe. Europe ain't where the power is. All the legends and lore said that it's these beings over here that will rise again. So it's all eyes on you. And guess what? Of course, some gotta be happening. Is more and more star seeds, black gods and goddesses raising up in the northwestern wilderness of America, and they dropping signs. And these motherfuckers telling you what it is, and they letting you know. Even the children know what the fuck going on now. Shit, you know it's the end when the children know what it is. When the children said, "Damn, you know what? This fucked up," and don't nobody else see this. Even the kids see what's going on now. So there you go. There you go. Y'all gotta see this for yourself. See what it is. This shit here is something. But we back now, and we here to tell everybody, like, why everybody teaching now? Everybody is teaching because this is the information age, and we are being used as catalysts to discharge information that's been hidden from you. And the more information you absorb, the more aware you become, and the stronger and quicker you can heal yourself and regenerate yourself. That's why everybody's teaching. Hey, half motherfuckers don't even want to teach. They teach it because their ancestors, like my ancestors, got on their ass and told them they need to teach. You got enough wisdom now to tell the people what's up. So that's what's going on with this whole teaching thing. You see what I'm saying? That's where it's at. The age of information is designed to bring about this new age, this new Aquarian age fully. See what I'm saying? This age of knowing. And you can only know if you have information. And that information gonna lead you back into yourself, where you get the true and inner knowing, the true and living knowing. You see what I'm saying? So there you go. There you go. That's what's going on here. That's what's going on. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, know that we rising again. The guys and guys is back. Millions of black guys. Don't let these motherfuckers fool you. You want to run into fucking archons because they making sure you're running into nothing but archons. For every star seed, they making sure that they put 5 to 10 to 15 archons in your reality to block you from seeing other star seeds. That's what they're trying to do here. That's what they trying to do here. But actually, there's millions of star seeds waking up in just America alone. You see what I'm saying? Shit, if it's 10 people in America, 3 of them are woke, 3 of them waking up, and 3 of them kind of like, all right, it's suspicious. You see what I'm saying? And there's that one dead motherfucker. You see what I'm saying? There's always gonna be one dead motherfucker. You know, that's the NPC. As my boy Ryan Gates said. 3 are woke, 3 are waking up, 3 are suspicious, and 1 is just dead. That's the mathematical equation right now. You see what I'm saying? That's the mathematical equation. That's the ratio of what's happening in America. 3 woke, 3 waking up, 3 are suspicious, and 1 super dead. That's that one dead motherfucker that you gonna drop once you figure it out. There you go. So yeah, I'll take questions now. Y'all got any questions before I get up out of here? There you go, Davari. If we birth kids properly, they would come in with all their gifts online, ready to go. Not in the hospital death camp. Right. Right, Modula. I can't get into the Bible. I clicked with the book of Revelations with ease. Hey, that's the first book I read in the Bible. Then I went back and read the other ones. After I read that motherfucker about 4 or 5 times. Uh-oh. There we go. There you go, D. The deeper I go within, the more powerful I become. Yeah, Diana, we tired of these vampire motherfuckers as well. Yep, D. The time of the true Jedi is now. The Force has awoken and it is on our side. Cause the Force sick of these motherfuckers too. The Force is sick of these motherfuckers too. There you go, Robbie. Trust me, my mission is to get us back to midwifery and doulas. There's no guidance for the females in the delivery rooms. They pushing for C-sections because we can only have so many children afterwards. Oh, yeah, they trying to kill you. Yeah, they trying to kill the idea of you birthing. You see what I'm saying? They trying to kill that. That's what they trying to do now. Shit, they don't want y'all having children. Each children is a star child now. It used to be a star child for 1 of every 3 kids you have. Now fucking never star seeds coming through. Diana, how can we make ourselves powerful off of the energy? Well, you just ran the training course. You just did the simulation. Yeah. If you just did the simulation for 20, 30 years, you already good to go. You already built for tough. The trick is you got to realize that you built for tough. Hey, you just did 30, 40, 50, 60 years in this shit. Hard time. Prison time, baby. And you just got released. You just got released partially. Yeah. You on probation right now. Parole, goddamn. Shit, it's just a partial release right now, but slowly it's gonna turn into a full release as time go on. And as you notice, all the star seeds and empaths and everybody happier than the motherfucker. Cause the world has never been this quiet and fucking pretty and silent and sacred. Shit, since I've been born, hell, since I've been here. It's the first time I ever heard peace and serenity in the world. Then when this energy hits, will our people who suffer from chronic disorders like diabetes regenerate and heal? Yes, a lot of them will regenerate. Unless they ain't got no souls. You know, you got clones and robots and shit walking around here. So them motherfuckers, black people who you just see drop dead, them niggas didn't have souls. They were made up. They was created. They was test tube babies and shit created by the government. You know, that was that one motherfucker that's dead, that's super dead, and they got no consciousness. Them usually NPCs, and them motherfuckers just gonna drop dead. I don't give a damn if they black, white, green, or blue. You see what I'm saying? But other than that, if they got souls, their souls is gonna slowly but surely regenerate their body. And if they sick now, the force is sustaining them as long as they are on their path. You see what I'm saying? As long as they're on their path, that's a catch. You only get your spiritual gifts if you're on the path. How would you say the strongest way to rebuild? Of course, meditation. Now, what is meditation? Meditation is the science and practice of getting back in tune with your soul, God, self, and learn to listen to your soul, God, self, and learn to generate internal wisdom from your soul, God, self. And sooner or later, you're going to be able to tap into these abilities because your soul activates these abilities inside you, and your spirit take these abilities and exercise them. You see what I'm saying? Which is you using your ability to do different things. You see what I'm saying? Because you have to practice your abilities to perfect them. Once you do that, oh yeah, you're gonna be a monster. You're gonna be a monster. So yeah, I hope that helps, Medulla. So yeah. What you said, D? They didn't try to kill me several times, and I'm still here. I'm about to have a whole bunch of kids. We bringing in the army of new starseeds. Damn right. There you go, Devar. Force sustainment is real. You are being sustained by the force of all, which is connected to the source of all, the original fucking primordial intelligence of all this shit. You see what I'm saying? And your soul, when it's healthy, it glows, it shines. You see what I'm saying? Which is what we've been talking about, the glow. So yeah. So there you go. Any other questions before I get up out of here? Any other question? Well, due to what you consider meditations with items, of course. Yeah, the items just amplify your spiritual powers. Crystals and gems and unks and all the other shit that we got, just tools and tarot. Hey, you can even meditate with tarot cards if you want to. You trying to get more introspective, grab your hermit card. Fucking visualize with it. Then go into your meditations, visualize the hermit card, and its energy is pouring into you. See what I'm saying? You can do whatever you want. You got so many tools. You see what I'm saying? You got so many tools. So yeah. Use them to your heart's content. And when is these motherfuckers gonna drop? We told them 120 years. We gave them 120 motherfucking years. That's 120 lessons, if y'all don't know. That's what Honorable Elijah Muhammad and his squad was talking about. So they got from 1900 to 2020. So this they last year. Why you think they fucking running? they trying to get their shit together this year because they know next year all hell gonna break loose. Next year shit popping off. So they got fucking the rest of this year to get it together. Yeah, really they got it to about August. September pushing it. Everything after August is them pushing it. You see what I'm saying? It's them really, really pushing that shit. So, but we gonna get them to next March. You know, by next March, all hell gonna be broke loose on this planet. And they know it. That's why they trying to get their shit together, get the fuck on. Hell, they trying to get it back to us. They trying to get it back to us. But hell, don't no starseeds want this shit now. It's too late. Nobody care about it no more. Nobody care about this regularly scheduled program no more. We done with this last season of Lost. We done with it. We done. We ready to move on. I'm ready to see something new now. I'm ready to see fucking angels fly. Hey, I been playing fucking Final Fantasy and shit. Sephiroth flying with wings and shit. Hell, I'm ready to see something new now. Hell, shit. I'm ready to do some new things. I'm done. I'm done with this shit. I know y'all probably done with this shit too. And I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at you. So yeah. So there you go. But yeah, we gave them 120 motherfucking years to answer your question, Anna. They got 100. They had 100, really 155 if you count after the Civil War. But definitely, our prophecy said 120 years from 1900 to 2020 on their Gregorian calendar. You see, if we went by their Gregorian calendar, which is what really fucked them up, because even though they try to fuck with the timelines and the calendars and shit, it's still lined up with our shit, and they don't even know how that was possible. Like, nigga, time ain't based off time. Time based off consciousness. If we say 120 years, that's 120 years based off our mass consciousness. And so it's 2020 in our mass consciousness, and this has been going on since these last day cycles have been going on from 1900 to 2020. So slowly but surely, now people seeing more spaceships. Now people seeing this. Now people seeing more apparitions and spirits and entities now. Because the physical world is no longer physical. It's astral. Y'all just don't know it's astral yet. But y'all about to. Get shit. After this year, this is going to be the last of what you know is a dense plane of existence. After this, it's going to be super astral. You're going to be able to see the motherfuckers walking around. Batmans and fucking mythical rabbits and flying pigs and all that shit. You about to see that shit soon. Real fucking soon. And shit, so spaceships, once you see spaceships, that's it. That's gonna shatter. Once the spaceships uncloak themselves in the sky, this shit gonna shatter. Your perception of what this reality is going to shatter the matrix. You see what I'm saying? Because to see all those spaceships at once destroys your worldview. You see what I'm saying? It destroys your worldview. And when your worldview is destroyed, then, and this shit reflects you, then this shit gonna be destroyed. You see what I'm saying? Like, oh shit, aliens real? So you gonna start to question, what else is real? You see what I'm saying? What else that we've been told that so-called mythical is real? You're gonna begin to question that shit. You ain't gonna be able to help but question. And that's what's gonna bring in the astral realm. Like, they go back and watch Mortal Kombat Annihilation. When they fused the astral realm with the physical realm. That's pretty much why they haven't made another Mortal Kombat. That one kind of told too much. You know, should that tell you what happened after you become God? Like I told y'all before, Immortal Kombat. So yeah. So I go back and watch Annihilation. They showed you what it was in Annihilation. I might talk about some more Mortal Kombat later. But yeah, definitely. Shit, they showed you what happens when the astral realm, or outworlds, they call it in Mortal Kombat, fuses with the earth realm. You see what I'm saying? Or the physical world. You see what I'm saying? It becomes one thing. And the shit you can do in the astral realm, you can do in the physical. You see what I'm saying? And vice versa. So yeah, there you go. So yeah, there y'all go. I'll take one more and I'll get up out of here. Anyway, one more question. Yeah, there you go, Devar. You can already see the force in plain sight. Yeah. If you want to see the force, just stay off in empty space, and you're going to start to see invisible, transparent particles just floating around. That's the force. You don't want to know what the force look like. So I'll take one more question if y'all got one. And I get up out of here. There you go, John. All creation and activities get their experience as they are visualized or imagined first. Right. All things are imaginary before they're anything else. Your will is what brings it to life. Well, y'all ain't got no more questions. I'm Marvin Jones. Put the word out, share this with your friends. Let them know what it is. Y'all want to donate, y'all can Cashapp, mcjnetwork. Y'all can check out my other occult lectures on YouTube as well, The Middle Now Order. And I'm out. Peace.